Hey folks, welcome back to my channel, Relationship Haven. My name is Gary, and I hope you are all having a lovely day or evening, wherever you are. In today's story, OP found out his girlfriend cheated on him after she called him around 5 in the morning, telling him that she got arrested for a DUI. When OP asked her what happened, she told him a story that didn't sound right. What OP discovered in her car next was absolutely shocking and proved she was lying. Let's get into today's story. Hey, first time ever doing anything like this. I felt very broken for 2 weeks since Discovery Day. I will start with how everything came crashing down, then tell you what troubles followed. I guess I'm just looking for opinions and advice, since I don't have many friends and I'm embarrassed to speak with them about it. My girlfriend and I have been together for 8.5 years and have a 2.5-year-old little girl. I had my suspicions for years, but within the last 4 months, I've been checking her Facebook page through an old phone that was still logged in. What I noticed first that was a little troubling was her reaching out to guys for conversation. 90% of them were after midnight. Nothing too terrible, but just a, hey, how you doing? I miss your face. Long time no talk, etc. Also, there were a few times where she gave them her phone number to not really mess with Facebook. I didn't have proof that she was cheating and didn't want to bring it up to her that I was invading her privacy, so I said nothing for the time. I would check in on Facebook every few weeks periodically. I started to notice deleted messages. They would pop up as a notification, but when you go to pull it up, they were deleted. We met while partying way back when we were younger. I slowed down as I had gotten a decent job that required me to work more hours. She had not slowed down much and was going to the bar every weekend. This was a neighborhood bar that a lot of friends in our circle, mostly hers, and I guess you can say acquaintances of mine, would go to. 70% of the time, her brother or good guy friends were with her, so for the most part, I felt comfortable with her being there without me. In November, I called her at about 10 o'clock to see where she was and if she was on her way home to me and our daughter. The store where she worked closed at 9 o'clock. She then texted me and said she was swinging by the bar for a few drinks. I was disappointed, but it wasn't unusual. My daughter finally fell asleep at around 11 o'clock, and I had worked since 3 in the morning that day, so I fell asleep with her. I woke up at 4:30, and she still wasn't home. She normally stays up until 5 a.m. This has happened before, but I'm still concerned, so I called her. She answers the phone drunk and says it's not good. She said she's talking to the cops and she has to get off the phone. I asked her where she's at so I could maybe help with the situation and at least keep the car from getting towed. She was with a guy bar friend of both of us and her brothers and said she was taking him home, so she said somewhere around his house. After talking to her brother and trying to find her, we finally pull up to the scene. She was arrested and being brought to jail for DUI. The car was already being towed and her guy friend was in the truck with her brother. The car was off in some random neighborhood nowhere near the guy's house and was reported as a suspicious vehicle that was left running. It being very late at night and trying to deal with the situation at hand, I was just trying to get my child's mother out of jail and get my car back. I talked to her brother after I had gotten home and got the guy's side of the story, according to her brother. After I had bonded her out of jail and talked to her to get her side of the story, they didn't match up. Both were lying. I knew something was wrong. I told her immediately that's not what I heard happened. Then she just chalked it up to, I don't remember. I was drunk. I brought her home and she stayed at the house with our daughter while I went to get the car out of impound with her brother. On the ride there, I told him that the two stories don't match up and he had his suspicions but didn't want to jump to conclusions. I go get the car, and when I opened the door, I found her panties sitting there on the seat. My heart sank to the floor. I showed her brother, and he still had suspicions and said he was going to figure it out from the other guy. After I brought the car home, I went into the laundry basket to see if she came home with any panties, and she didn't. I brought her outside and asked her about it. She had just recently stayed the night at her dad's and said that the cops went through her bag of clothes. I didn't believe her, but had no proof. She acted disgusted that I even asked and said that she never cheated on me, right to my face, looking me in the eyes. I apologized and said it didn't look good, so that's why I asked. A few months later, it's January, and a day before my birthday. I had my best friend and his brother come by for a few drinks. I had a little too much and passed out, but I noticed my best friend's brother eyeing up my girlfriend. I wake up feeling a little suspicious, but I took my girlfriend to work because she can't drive right now. I look into her old phone and the Facebook page after I drop her off. My best friend's brother was trying to hit on her through Facebook after I fell asleep for the whole night. She didn't really flirt back, but she also didn't give the response that I would have liked. Then I noticed two other guys whose messages were deleted. She sets both of them up on ghost mode where the messages would delete automatically. They were messaging up to 5:30 in the morning and were long conversations. One of the guys was the guy when she got arrested that night. The other guy was the guy that she had been deleting the messages from for a few months, even before the DUI. I told her I saw the messages between all three guys over texts. She confessed about my friend's brother, but acted confused and didn't know what I was talking about with the other two. I just texted her back and said, okay, and then she folds, saying, I don't know what you read, but I'm sorry and I love you and don't want to break up our family. I asked her to confess because I still had no solid proof and the messages were deleted. I didn't let her know that though. See messages, the DUI? And I messaged back everything. She says, you would have to ask. I don't know what you mean. I told her, how can I believe you if you can't even confess what you did? I already know. I have the messages. She said it was mostly just words and it was just dumb shit. I said what words and to who and what happened with the DUI. I told her I will see her when I pick her up from work. We get home and go back to talking about it. I kept telling her I saw the messages and need her to confess. She admitted to sleeping with him that night of the DUI. And the other guy that she's been deleting the messages from has been just saying dumb shit. I asked her, what did she say? And she replied it was about him flirting with her while they were at the pool table. I forgot to mention this was another regular at the bar. We've both been trying to deal with this for 2 weeks, and it's still hard. She keeps saying she wants to move forward and not look in the past, but it's hard to get out of my mind. All of the lies and the betrayal. I did everything I could have for our relationship. I feel like I can't trust anybody, but I do love her. I told her we will try to make it work, but it eats at me every day. I honestly think the only thing holding us together is our daughter. I came from a broken family and don't want her to live like that. I don't know if I feel weak for staying or strong for trying to make it work. She says it's easy for you just to walk away, and I think that is true. So I wanted to take the harder path to give it everything I can. This is not the first time she's lied to me. She has lied about phone numbers being guys' numbers, saying it was her cousin's. She has also lied about where she was at. Her brother called me to say she was up to no good, that I should go check on her. I pull up to the bar at the same time as her with another guy in her car. She drove away and said it was nothing, but her actions didn't tell me that. Those two incidents were before our daughter, and I thought that would have brought a new chapter to our world. I guess not, but I still feel like it wouldn't have happened to me. I'm lost. Please help. Oh, by the way, we have a lot going on in our lives right now, including a family death. But my curiosity is running. I want to reach out to the guy and find out exactly what was going on. Is that a bad idea? Wow, OP, I can only imagine the wave of emotions you are feeling right now. I highly suggest that you DNA test your daughter immediately and speak to a lawyer ASAP. You also need to make her leave to give you space to process and heal from this unforgivable betrayal. You need to protect your daughter from someone who is having substance abuse problems. Your girlfriend sounds like someone who is erratic and is incapable of making good decisions. That is definitely not someone you want your daughter to be around. I hope you are able to fight for full custody of your daughter once you go to court. Let's take a look now at what the comments had to say about the situation. Switchboard Friend said, you may have been in a relationship for 8.5 years, but she never was. She has been single all this time and used your home as a base of operations. Whatever you're doing, stop. You need at least a month of no contact with her to sort out your feelings. Have her stay with her brother. Any decision you make now whilst you are off kilter may not look quite so good in the future. You need to make the best decision you can for yourself and your daughter. When you have had some processing time, then contact a lawyer. Get STI checked and DNA your daughter. You need to be serious and show her that you are serious. If you intend to reconcile, and heck knows why you would, then she cannot get away with any one of her many infidelities without consequence. What you already know is awful, but it's only the tip of the iceberg. Every man that you mentioned that has tried has succeeded in getting with her. There will be more. The night of the DUI, that is what she has been doing for the past 8.5 years every time she goes out, and it was a blind chance that she got caught. After acting this way for so long, she may not be capable of acting any other way. It has been going on for so long that she might not even understand that you didn't know. Her response to everything was telling. She has misbehaved so often and so many times that she genuinely didn't know which infidelity you were talking about. Was it from this week, last week, or some years ago? Please stay strong for your daughter and look after yourself both physically and mentally. It's going to be very bad, but with support from those around you that care, you'll pull through. Thanks for taking your time to listen to today's story. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and comment below on what your thoughts are on today's story. Take care, everyone.